Today we're talking about dating rules that all girls need to follow to make sure that they protect themselves and also get the partner that they deserve. And before we get into the rules, I just want to let you know, these are all to make sure that you get everything you want. Some of them may seem strange, different, maybe a bit extreme, considering the way that you're usually dating. But in a world where most men are trying to play you, you need to know how to protect yourself from being played, even if you do end up finding a man that is genuine. Because understand this, the man that is genuine will actually respect you a lot more from having protected yourself and not being trusting, even though he was trustworthy. So let's get into these rules that you need to follow to date and protect yourself and get the life and the partner that you truly deserve. Rule number 1 when it comes to dating. Understand that all men are transactional no matter how genuine they are. No matter how you twist or you turn it, no matter how good, how loving, how much a man wants to take care of you, there's always something transactional going on when it comes to a relationship between a man and a woman. It is even so when it comes to friendships. And if you're someone who does not want a transactional relationship, you need to just have a relationship with yourself. Because any relationship you will have with any people in this world will be transactional of some sort. Because no matter what, you will be giving your time and your energy to someone. And the earlier you can understand this, the more you will be protected. Because you'll start to move according to the things that you want in your life, rather than according to some fairy tale story about the fact that we're all going to live in harmony. You will live in harmony with yourself, with the world you've created for yourself, if you understand that this world is very transactional. As I said, even the most genuine, loving, amazing man is not just going to have a relationship with you if you are not giving something. He will not supply you with the things that you need from a relationship if you are not here to give something else. In this case, the giving is your presence. Because let's get this straight, we're not talking no, what do you bring to the table thing. No matter who you are around, you will be giving your energy, even if you're not giving them money, even if you're not giving them presents, even if you're not giving them that type of loving, if you know what I mean. You are still giving your energy and time to that person, which means no matter what, a relationship will be transactional. And when you get comfortable with the uncomfortable fact that that's how the world works, you will be more content with moving in a way that gets you the things that you deserve. And yes, even a loving relationship, even the perfect partner, even both the lifestyle and the love that you want in your life. The next rule you need to follow is don't reveal all your cards. As I said before, dating is playing a game. When you choose to date men, you're opting into playing a game. And if you say you don't want to play games, the rules will still apply to you. The game will still continue running. So you will get played unless you choose to play along. And here it's very important for you to understand that you need to keep your cards close. Like when you're playing poker. When you meet someone and you're going on a first date with them, you cannot be oversharing every little detail about your life. You cannot be oversharing what happened to you when you were little. You cannot be oversharing all of the things that you've gone through. This is not you being honest. This is not you letting someone into your world and letting them judge you for who you are, letting them choose you for your whole self. This is you putting yourself in danger. Because as I said before, no matter what, relationships are transactional. And the worst men will sniff out that you are someone who's got a lot of buttons to push, a lot of things to trigger, which means they can get your energy, aka the transactional thing they want from you, if they know how to trigger you. This is exactly why it is a bad idea to overshare. Overshare how your ex-boyfriend was, overshare about your narcissistic mother, overshare about this and this and that. You are literally giving them a book on how to play you. And I want to add that actually, if you do this and overshare to genuine men, and you're thinking, okay, well, if he's genuine, he will not use my information. You know what a genuine man, a good man will do if you overshare with him on the first date? He will leave. Maybe not on the date, but he will leave and he will not want to talk to you. Because if you are not someone who can keep your cards close to yourself the first time you meet someone, he's going to think this is a girl who shares this with everyone. And if she shares things this dark, this bad, or whatever with me, a stranger she's just meeting now, imagine in the relationship. What might she share about our relationship with other people? Would she ever be able to hold that relationship sacred? Or would the first thing she would do as soon as she sees something be run around telling everyone about it? It is essentially saying to a healthy man that you are someone who reacts outwardly. You will not be able to be a good partner for someone who's actually trying to get somewhere. And it will also say that you're probably not ready to build a relationship. Because if you're so stuck in the past that you need to overshare to feel that you're being accepted for who you are on the first date, that means that you bind your personality, who you are, who you're gonna be in a relationship, you bind that onto having gone through experiencing whatever it is you've experienced. And to a healthy man, that is a giant red flag. And that might be the exact reason why when you have a positive relationship with someone, or you meet someone who could be considered genuinely nice, they're actually standoffish to you because they're not going to reciprocate in the oversharing. They're not going to let you have a trauma bond because they don't want to deal with that trauma bond. They don't want to have anything but positive energy. And when you're used to everyone taking your energy no matter what, when you're used to people taking advantage of your negative energy, aka men being transactional with taking your negative energy, someone who's healthy and who's going to retract their energy when the only energy you bring is negative, that's going to seem like a bad person to you. So that is something you need to work on if you want to ensure that you have a healthy relationship. And it's not being a bad person, not sharing everything on the first date. And if someone tells you you're a bad person, they're not healthy themselves. This leads me to the next and probably most important rule when it comes to dating and finding a good partner. Do not give that man no pie when you've just met them. We're not here to shame someone who wants to do and have fun experiences. This is a video teaching you how to get a genuine relationship. And sometimes the whole idea of going with the flow that we've been taught by modern day feminism is actually a way for men to just get easier access to you and not have to build anything with you. When you give a man access to the pie too early, first and foremost, you will signal that that is something that you do with everyone. Men assume that whatever it is you do on the first couple dates with him is something that you do with everyone. So if you drink and you party and you take him home or you go home with him, that is who he deems you to be. Apart from this, when you give a man the pie too early, the chase has stopped for the man. And you might say, I don't want to play no games. He should like me for who I am, even if we do something. Men are wired to chase. They're wired to try to get the things that they can't have. Even if they're a genuine man, even if they're the man that will literally fulfill all of your needs and all of your wishes. If you're too easy to get, you are going to be considered easy. You're going to be considered a participation trophy, not a gold medal for running a marathon. And no man is proud of telling someone that he got a medal for showing up. He wants a medal for having gone through hard things. And that hard thing is you being very firm on the fact that you are not going to be giving him no pie. And you might think that, oh, we're not going to get a relationship unless I give in. That is not true. That is something that men want you to believe so that you give in earlier so that they can leave you high and dry. And I'm not telling you that you need to wait till marriage, but that man needs to have done things to make sure that you are having an easier time, that he has proved that he can solve things in your life. And if you genuinely want a committed relationship, you have to wait till you are committed. This might seem hard in a culture in the day of age where we're all supposed to be just having fun and frolicking, but it will genuinely save you a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of trauma bonds if you become comfortable with the fact that unless someone has proven to you that they're going to be your committed partner and they've shaken their tail feathers like the male bird they are, there's no reason for you to give them access to such a sacred part of yourself and an experience that is so sacred with you.
If you just want to have fun, go have fun, but be very clear about the fact that you just want to have fun. Do not expect a relationship to come out of having fun. But if you genuinely want a relationship, you need to be someone who has more clear boundaries. And this leads me to the next rule as a girl that you need to have when it comes to getting a good relationship and protecting yourself. Have stronger and more boundaries. A woman who is extremely attractive to very good men, yes, because the good men do exist, is a woman who's not afraid of standing on her own business and standing up with her boundaries in mind. And when you have your boundaries clear and you are not afraid to say this is how it is, you will also weed out toxic men extremely quickly, because toxic men are not gonna wait around. They're gonna try to test your boundaries a couple of times, and if you do not budge, they will move on to the next person that they can try their boundaries. This relates very much to what I said before about not giving a man the pie. It is easy to figure out if a man is actually toxic if you are not willing to give him any. Because if he has to wait and he has to be a patient good boy, and he's not a patient good boy, if he's a bad no good, eventually he's going to become frustrated. He's going to become verbal about that. He's going to be lashing out. And then you know exactly what you're dealing with. And then it's going to be much easier to deselect. This is why not giving up the pie is a great boundary. This is why dating rules in general are very good to have and to follow. But boundaries can also be more specific. I can really suggest having boundaries when it comes to being out. When it comes to dating. If you're going on a date and you do not have no curfew, no nothing you need to do, no time you need to be home, you're gonna come off as too available. And when it comes to the 48 laws of power, there is one law that says scarcity increases value. It is a really good idea for you to have a set deadline curfew for yourself, even if the date is really, really good, even if the guy is really, really nice, because it's just gonna make that guy want to be around you more. He's gonna, in the absence of you, see how great your company was. And the curfew boundary is a great boundary to set and be clear about, because if you make that clear to him, you say, okay, this is a boundary. A lot of the times a guy will try to push you beyond that boundary, like, oh, you should stay out a little later. And this is a small boundary. I have to go home by 11 p.m. I have to go sleep. My mom is coming in the morning. I have something I need to do in the morning, whatever it is. If you set a boundary that you need to follow in front of a man and you literally follow that boundary, okay, I have a curfew, and you go home at that time, he'll be like, okay, she stands on her own business. It's a great thing to do when it comes to being on first dates. This is a great thing to do on first dates, for example, because it makes it very clear that you are comfortable with setting boundaries for yourself and you are also someone who follows through with them. I can really recommend for you to have a list of boundaries or curfew or whatever it is. It could be something like, you don't kiss on the first date, no pie till the relationship is committed, no oversharing. Generally, all of the rules that I tell you in this video, you should write these down in a note. Write them down so that you have them, so that when you go out subconsciously, you will have all of these in your mind, because we're more likely to follow rules when we write them down rather than if we just have them in our brain. The next dating rule that all girls need to follow is never go looking for your dad. This one might seem a little strange, but a lot of the times we get very caught up in trying to find a partner that reminds us a lot of what we grew up with. No matter if the dad we had was a good dad or a bad dad or whatever he was. Sometimes we go looking for a man that is like our dad because that guy was a really, really good provider. Sometimes we try to look for someone that reminds us of our dad because we want to feel the comfort of similarity. But this will make you a lot more blind in the long term, and you have to understand that it's not endearing to go look for someone like your dad, to go look for your dad in someone. You can be inspired by the qualities of people around you, the good quality. My dad is a great provider. I want that in a man. But if you're constantly looking for something that is familiar to you, you also might be very, very blindsided, because a lot of the times, especially if you haven't healed and you believe you have healed, when you you live in one reality of what it means to be alive, like, oh, this is the only thing that I believe in, this is how things are going to turn out. If you've grown up with only one experiences of specific types of men, there might be some good qualities among that. You will end up going for comfort over what's actually good for you. And that is exactly why someone who is healthy and healthier than you might actually think might come off as standoffish, because it's not something that you are used to. It's not something that you've grown up with. So it feels uneasy to your nervous system because your nervous system wants to keep you trapped in the reality that you've created for yourself, in the reality you grew up with, the people you grew up around. It is a very, very primal thing for our body to do, so that we keep around our tribe. But a lot of the times, this is going to set us up for being around people that are not going to be good for us, which is a lot of the times why girls end up being in relationships with men that are terrible for them, because the only partners they look for are things that they are used to. And this leads me to the next rule, which is never ever date for looks. I could make a whole video talking about the dangers of dating men for their looks, especially the men that are considered the hunky, cute men. One of the most dangerous things a woman can do is to date a man based on the way that he looks, the way that he dresses. As a girly who has been very, very into streetwear, I've noticed that a lot of times in the streetwear community, people, especially when I used to go to Fashion Week and when I did a lot of streetwear content, it became very clear that people who are into streetwear date people that are into streetwear. And when you base something so much on looks, a lot of the times you will end up overlooking a lot of things, because someone might look good around you. A guy might look hunky, he might be strong, he might be this and that, he might be 6 foot tall, have a six-pack. But that does not mean he's going to be able to provide the life for you that you truly deserve. A guy might have a cute IG and have the perfect haircut. That does not mean that he can handle things the way he needs to handle things. The men that will be able to handle things the way they need to handle things are often the men that do not care about their looks. And I'm not saying they do not care, like, oh, they're not going to wash their face and they only use 32-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, and wiper fluid. It just means that they are not trying to pluck their eyebrows and have an eyebrow slit. They're not going to try to spend $200 on sneakers every 14 days. Understand that men who are already good looking are also men that they know they have an upper hand. They're men and they also look good, which means that they feel like they can own any room, and they expect much more from the people that are around them, which means that it is very much easier for a woman to end up feeling like she's not good enough in the company of a man who is used to getting everything just because he's some beautiful boy. And we're not trying to shame the beautiful men. I'm just here to tell you that a lot of the times you will be competing for him. You will be the groupie. You will be the fangirl. And he knows that he can get any fangirl he wants because all of the girls are fangirls. These men, they expect you to stroke their ego. They expect you to be the provider. They expect you to be everything. So it's going to be very hard for you to get a lot of reciprocation from a man like that. A lot of girls will say that they want to date for love and they want to date for how a man is and his character and all this, but at the same time, they want a man who's 6 foot. And they expect not to be judged for having stretch marks or whatever, which is perfectly normal to have. But if you're judging a man based on him having to be 6 foot, I'm not saying you cannot have a preference that a man should be maybe a little taller. A lot of the times you'll actually end up missing out on a perfect partner, the partner that would be the best partner for you, because we've been brainwashed to seek out the most beautiful people, not understanding that for men especially, looking good does not make you very capable. Men are not guilted into doing so much for everyone else the same way that women are. So if a man as well has that face card, you will most likely be dating a wall that everyone wants to take pictures against. The most important qualities from a man is how he can make sure that you're relaxed, and he can ensure those things through financial security and how he handles himself. It is actually better for you when you meet someone not to be all, oh my god, I have a crush on him. It is better for you to be like, okay, I need to warm up to this person. That is the feeling you need to have when you meet someone. It's not, oh my god, they're so hot. It is, this man is someone I need to get to know before I can decide whether I find him attractive or not. because that way you are much more adamant about how he acts. You pick up on smaller things. You're not blinded by him looking a specific way. You falling in love with him will be based on how he treats you, not whether he looks good on a Pinterest feed. And that is ultimate protection. The next dating rule that all girls need to follow is have hobby. And you might say, well, this is not a dating rule. Having hobbies is something you have regardless if you have a man or not. Exactly. The best way for you to set yourself up for finding a partner that is actually going to be really, really good for you is making sure that you also are a good partner to yourself. You indulge in the things that you like to do. You are creative. You explore. You grow. Whether this is having hobbies like painting, running, whatever it is, or whether it's you literally building a whole business. It is very important for you to have something that you can do for you, because this will make you generally way more attractive to a man who is also someone who's trying to go places. There's nothing wrong with you sitting at home scrolling, watching a couple TikToks. But if that is your hobby, that is not a hobby. And at the same time, understand that having a man is not a hobby. Having a man is not a hobby. And in today's world where we're so bombarded with dating shows and dating apps and all of this, it seems like it is a hobby because it is extremely time consuming. And if it is extremely time consuming, it might be a hobby. A partner is someone who can join in your hobby. Hanging around with your boyfriend is not a hobby. Going on a hike, watching movies, going shopping, all activities that you can do with your partner, with your man, with your boyfriend, but they're also hobbies that you can do by yourself. You're going to be able to learn so much more about yourself if you're actually willing to be someone who explores yourself through your hobby. Learning about who you are is not something that happens in a relationship. A relationship will make you feel confident in who you are, and it will make you more confident to explore the things that will make you grow. The relationship is here to strengthen you. It's not here to make you exactly everything you are. Because when a man is your hobby and a man is everything that you do, everything that you are, you will lose yourself. You will become so dependent. You will actually become clingy to the point where no matter how healthy a relationship is, that partner will feel like they don't have any room to breathe. No matter how healthy of a relationship you guys have, that will make a relationship strained because they feel like they have to be a babysitter. They feel like they have to entertain you instead of you just doing whatever it is you want to do. When you have something that you want to do, that you need to do, that you like to do, the partner who is the perfect partner for you will be someone who will be like, oh my God, I love it when you do your thing. I love it when you do your videos. If you make videos, you dress up cool, you paint, you jog, and they'll most likely try to join in, and then you will grow together and you can share that love for some. But in today's age where everyone is almost just watching TikToks and watching movies and watching Netflix, having a partner based on, oh, I like to watch Netflix. Do you like to watch Netflix? Do you like to listen to music? Everyone watches TV and listens to music. It's very easy to get to the point where you're an expert at doing that. And most everyone does that. So it's not really gonna show whether someone's willing to be like, oh yeah, you're into that? That's cool. Get some hobbies, try out things. Even if it's something you've never tried before, even if you're only gonna do it once, try out some things. To follow is a man always needs to be questioned. As I said in the beginning, no matter how you twist and turn it, a relationship will always be transactional. Which is why when you go on a date with a guy, it is actually an interview to figure out whether this guy should be hired to your company. Essentially, you need to treat men like employees. And I've made a whole video about that, so go watch that one to see how that works. You're trying to interview him to figure out whether he will be a good fit for your company. This does not mean he's interviewing for the executive position, aka your partner. This means that you're trying to figure out whether he can add any value to your company, because a man cannot be working in your business if he is not someone who adds value. If you have to give him money, if you have to take care of him, your life is a business, girl. Your life is your business to run. And your life can't run around if you are around men that cannot supply things to it. Which is why when you are out and about on a date with a man, you need to ask him questions. And I'm not telling you to sit down with a block of paper and be like, okay, now we're asking questions. No, but it's good for you to have a couple questions that you ask guys routinely when you go on dates with. And you know what? The best way to ask men questions is to make statements. When you ask men questions, men will actually think that you are open to do whatever they want. But if you instead make statements, they either have to agree with you or they will make a counter statement. This is why if you are someone who wants to be a housewife, for example, if you want to be taken care of, if you want to have a provider man, one thing that is very good for you to state on a first date is like, you know what, I'm really looking forward to at some point when I'm gonna have a family, we're gonna have a house. And you know, I love it when I'm doing some more homely stuff, when he takes care of the finances. Or when I have kids, I want to be home with them. That's something I'm looking forward to. That you're literally building on your dream. You're saying, this is going to happen regardless. This is what I want to happen. And now he has to come with a statement himself, or he has to agree. And you should be out here talking about these things. Talking about what you want in your future, not what you want in yours and him, his and you's future, but what you want in your future to make sure whether he fits in. He's being interviewed to see if he's a fit at your company, your life. You're not trying to figure out whether you're going to change the company for him. And it's always better for you to get down to the serious questions before you give him access to the pie, before you give him the taste of the pie, because it's a way for you to figure out whether the encounter with this man is just something that's going to be fun, and you know it's going to be just fun short term because you don't align, instead of you being like betting everything on this man and figuring out down the road that he's not willing to do the things that you want. He's not willing to build the life that you want for yourself because you are afraid of making it clear that you have certain expectations for your life. If you make it very clear certain expectations you have for your life, and you can do this in a way that doesn't come off snarky or mean, just talk about the things that you're looking forward to in your life. You will also weed a man out. You have to be comfortable with the fact that men will deselect themselves because there's certain things that you want that they can't provide, or they don't want either. They don't want to work towards that. And that is much better for you to do the first time you're around this man. That doesn't mean you need to sit down and be like, you need to take care of this, you need to take care of that, and if you don't pay my bills, we can't be together. It could just be something like, you know what, I'm really looking forward to being a stay-at-home mom. I'm really looking forward to supporting my husband in his work. You can always twist it in a way that comes off soft and nice. And if he replies in a mean way, then you know he's not for you. And he just wants to get access to you. And when you put the whole interviewing a guy, like making it clear what you want in your life, when you put that together with the whole having boundaries, you're going to be very hard to manipulate. And the women that are most hard to manipulate are the women that know exactly what they want, and they're not afraid to make it clear what they want. And as I said, it's not making it clear in a way where you're mean. It's just making it clear so that they know that you're someone who knows what you want. Men are used to women that don't know what they want, so that they try to make them believe that this is what they want, and what they're supposed to want is just the man, not a specific lifestyle, not a specific life, not specific thing, which is exactly why it's very good to have certain things that you do want. And this does not mean that it can't change. It just means that you have something you stand up for, you. And again, you don't have to be mean about this. It can come off very naturally. It's not a questioning process. It's a way to put things out there so he has to respond. And this is great to do before you let that man have any access to specific things. You know what I mean? The next dating rule that all girls need to follow is never build a man. Go build a bear instead. If you don't want to get played, if you want to protect yourself, you have to understand that a man needs to build himself. This does not mean that you cannot be a supportive partner. Being a supportive partner is way different from building someone. But building a man will make you, first and foremost, it will make you come off as his mother, and that man will lose attraction for you very quickly. Or that man will just see you as someone he can use until he's gotten to the point where he has built himself. He's not going to feel like you helped him build. He's just going to be like, oh yeah, I built myself. You are just a tool to get there. This is exactly why, as I said before, it's very good for you to have things that you want. Because then it's like, if you want to be in my life, you need to help supply that. You cannot just be coming here empty-handed. A healthy man loves to build for you. An unhealthy man will want you to build him. He will want to get access to your energy, your beauty, wherever you can take him because of who you are, so that he can get what he truly wants. Maybe a different girl, build his business, whatever it is. He wants your labor. whether it's just the labor of you being around him. When you focus on building yourself instead of building a man, he knows that he needs to supply the bricks to build you rather than you are going to be supplying bricks to build him. Because a lot of the times women, when we try to give bricks to build a man, we take from our own house. But when a man builds for a woman, he becomes so proud of that project he's built because he gets to have the novelty, the access to her beautiful energy, and he sees how relaxed and amazing she is when she has someone who will support her and be there for her. Building a man will set that man up to play you because that man will just see that you're someone who's eager to have someone to do something for. He'll just see that you're a people pleaser, and that will actually be very unattractive. And a lot of the times when you build a man, instead of letting him build himself, he will be reminded of all of the things that he made you go through when he gets to a point where he has more, which is going to make him feel ashamed, which is going to make him leave you. Funnily enough, he's not going to want to make it up to you. He's going to leave you because you remind him of his past, of his deficiencies, of all of the things he couldn't do. That is exactly why men leave women after they've been with a woman who's done everything for them, because that woman reminds him of his past, and it reminds him that she was willing to literally settle for someone like he used to be, which means she's not going to be seen as that valuable. He's going to be like, why did you choose to do that to yourself? Because men know your value. Men know the value of your company. They know that they're getting a lot from just having you around, which is exactly why he will feel like he's getting the participation medal from you being around, doing all sorts of things for him, being around him, praising him for not doing anything. Because you wanted a relationship built on love. Men sell women the idea of love because they have nothing else to offer. If a man had everything to offer, he'd be like, I'm gonna give you love and I'm gonna give you a Louis bag. I'm gonna give you love and I'm gonna pay all your bills. Because I know that that's gonna make you feel so relaxed that you're gonna be clear in your head to know that I actually do love you. I'm gonna make sure I do whatever it is I need to do so that you can have an easier life. That is love. That is love. Love is not, you're gonna have to endure pain and pain and pain and pain for me just to sit on my flat thing and never get up and do anything. Because we have love and we love each other. Love is growth. Love is loving someone so much that you understand that you need to do more to give to that person. Not do more for them. Do more so that you can be the best version of you, to be the best partner, which is exactly why you should never build a man. If he cannot build himself, the moment you retract your energy from building him, he will be frustrated, he will be nasty, and when you maybe break up with him, he will literally fall into shambles. This is also exactly why women end up having that whole boyfriend air thing, where they end up being drained because this man will drain her. He doesn't want to build anything together. He wants to take her energy. This is exactly why it's a great idea to have so much going on for yourself that if a man wants to be a part of your life, he needs to add to your life. He cannot just be taking from you. Our relationship is not a compromise, it's a collaboration. But it can never be a collaboration if one part is not doing what they need to do. The next thing is a way to test a man. And this is a great dating rule to have to make sure that you figure out how these men actually act. Is he someone who has a broke mentality? Is he someone who's willing to grow? Take this man window shopping with you. If you take a man window shopping with you and you're like, let's go to Louis Vuitton, let's go to Prada, let's go look at these things, and he starts acting weird, suddenly he has like a phone call he needs to answer, a man should know that if you've been on a date with him a couple times, you going to Louis Vuitton does not mean he's going to spend 10 racks on a bag for you. But if a man is truly someone who has a positive outlook and he wants to build something for himself, he's gonna be content going to Louis Vuitton and looking at things with you. If a guy starts acting up when you're going around looking at expensive things, if he starts being weird, if he starts retracting, if he starts being distant, that is because he does not feel worthy of being in places like that, and he most likely never will. A man will feel worthy of being in a place like that even if he doesn't have the money to go and get that stuff. If he is someone who's willing to build himself and become a partner, a person, a man who is trying to get everything he needs to get. A man would go look at a $1 million house with you even if he didn't have the money to get that house, knowing that he has big dreams for himself and he's not going to limit himself. If you take a man out looking at luxury goods with you, it is going to be a very easy way to figure out whether this man has a limiting mindset or not, aka whether he has a broke mindset or not. And this is one of the only ways where I would say a walking date would be appropriate. But never, because there's various appropriate moments for that, but I would always say that the appropriate moment for a walking shopping date always comes after you've been invited out for a real dinner or a real date, a planned date that he planned. If the walking is you walking around luxury stores to test whether this guy has any sense of wanting to become a better version of himself, that walk will save you so much time in the future because you'll be able to sniff out a lot about this guy. A walking date in the park is an easy getaway because this guy can act however he wants and he can be the big guy he wants to be. But how you really need to test a man is to see how he reacts in the presence of things that are considered powerful. Does he feel uneasy walking around a luxury mall when you say, I want to go look at Louis Vuitton? Let me look at some of the things in here. Does he get serious, like on some, oh yeah, you're a gold digger, you want too much? Does he try to call someone so that he doesn't have to go to the store with you? And this leads me to the next dating rule, which is also more of like a way to test men. If this man is too serious. The most broke mentality men are the men that are the most serious. Because the men that are the most afraid of power, the men that don't actually feel like they could have any power, they're also the men that are gonna try to emulate power the most. And to them, a lot of men, power means being harsh, means not being fun, means being the man. So if a guy cannot take a joke or he cannot go and have fun looking at fun things like going to Louis Vuitton or whatever, that's a red flag. That's a giant red flag. Some of the richest men are also the men that can joke around the most about their life. If he is too serious, and of course there are moments where he needs to be serious, if he's too serious all the time, that is going to put a strain on your energy because you're going to feel like you need to walk on tiptoe. And the only reason you're walking on tiptoes around him is because he has some type of ego he needs to protect. He has some type of look. He wants to look like if he had a dog, that dog could come and bite someone. That's not a man you want to be around. And then the last dating rule that I want to share before I finish this video, and I could make a whole second video, let me know in the comment section if you want me to make another one, is make sure that you live in your single girl energy. What does single girl energy mean? Well, single girl energy means that no matter if you have a partner, you have a husband, whatever it is, you think back to a time maybe you had a heartbreak or something happened and you're like, you know what, I'm breaking free. This is a new start. And you know how when you watch a movie and a girl becomes single or a girl becomes transformed after having been in a relationship and suddenly like she puts her hair up, she put her makeup on, she gets her nice dress on, she looks like that girl. That is the type of energy you need to carry with you all the time because that energy truly protects you as a woman. If you are a woman who puts a lot of effort into yourself and you're not afraid of showing up as if you can conquer the whole world and this is a new chapter, a new beginning, every single day, people will be like, okay, here's a weak spot. We're going to take advantage of that. This is why it's a great idea for women to put effort into their looks. This is why wearing makeup can actually be a big protector. Having a cute outfit on, doing your hair, doing your nails, those are things you need to do, not because you need to do them, but because it will make you feel like you are that extra bit invincible. And that feeling is actually quite a strong power that will make you be able to stand up for yourself better. You can set the boundaries better. The boundaries you write for yourself. You can walk into rooms with more confidence. You can claim your territory better. It will make you way better at sniffing people out that don't deserve to be in your life because you are literally facilitating a life where you are the star of your show. And yeah, it takes energy. But you know what? The energy you pour into not wearing sweatpants all day, wearing a nice outfit, looking good, eating healthy, taking yourself out for a little self dates, no matter if you're in a relationship or not, that is going to save you in the long run because it's going to make you stay on track for you, not for someone else. And that is going to make it so much easier for you to stay on track with someone else because you're both making sure that your motor, your engine runs no matter what. And it will be easier for you to pick yourself up when you have a bad day because you know you have something to rely on. And that something to rely on sometimes is just doing your hair, it's just doing your makeup, it's just putting a nice outfit together, but it can make you feel instantly better. And that's why my single girl energy is so incredibly powerful. I have so many more dating rules that girls need to follow. So let me know in the comment section down below if you want me to make another video about things like this. And if you have any questions at all, leave them in the comment section below. I will try to answer them the best I can, maybe make a whole other video about some of these questions. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Stay protected, protect your power so you can grow your power. Love you, girls.